Hello and welcome to another episode of the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. I am your host, Jasmine Neely, and today we have some special guests for the TopCats Eras Series. We're celebrating 30 years of the TopCats, and my guests today are the most recent TopCats of the Eras Series, Trica Johnson and Brandi Hopson. Welcome, ladies.
Hello, hello.
Hey, thanks for having us, Jasmine.
Yes, thanks for being here. So, we're going to jump right into it. I want you to give our audience some background about who you are, when you danced as a top cat, and talk about any notable experiences or achievements you had as a top cat. And then kind of tell us what you've been up to since retiring from the top cats. Trica, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, so good to see you again. And Brandi, of course. So I'm Trica Patrice, and I cheered for the Top Cats in 2021. And then I came out of the program at 2025. So 4 years, 4 seasons. And I had the honor of serving as a captain 2 out of my 4 years cheering for the team. And then some other notable cool things I got to do during my time was I got to travel to Germany, perform at one of the games, the international game. I Yeah, that's a pretty big one out of all the other many memories I'm sure I'll share later on. But, life outside of Top Cats, currently work full time in HR. I do the talent acquisition for a small property management company. I absolutely love my job. And then I also run my side business. Some people call me the matcha queen, but I love to go around the city of Charlotte and fill cups with matcha and mantras. I used to put on events with my full-time job and plan events for multiple corporate offices, which led to a lot of burnout. So now I still get to do events, but in a more niche setting around the city of Charlotte, doing things and educating people on matcha and mantras.
Amazing. That's so cool, Trica. Brandi, what about you? What are you laughing about?
Trica's matchas are good. So if you ever want a matcha, hit her up.
They're really good. And wait, hold on before you start, Brandi. Don't you have a matcha right now?
So good.
Tell us what you're drinking.
Okay, so I have a raspberry matcha lemonade. So nice and refreshing, iced.
Yummy.
Perfect afternoon treat.
Yummy. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Trika. Brandi, tell us about your Top Cat experience and what you've been up to since retiring.
Yes, so I'm Brandi Hopson. I cheered for the Top Cats from 2021 through 2025. I came in with Miss Trica. Some notable experiences as a Top Cat would be obviously making the team. I was able to be a captain for my 4th season, going to Germany, like Trica said. Also being a part of the team when Cam Newton came back for a very brief time. One of my a fun experience was dancing with Petey Pablo from
Oh my God.
some marketing visual that the Panthers wanted to do, so that was
Yes.
really fun. That was really fun. I think I sprained my ankle when we did that, but I can't confirm or deny.
Very notable.
But like Trika said, there's so many more experiences, but those are just the first things. Oh, and I went to Provo. I went to Provo,
It's a big one.
in 2025, so that was really fun.
Awesome. So each of you have had, since I know you and I cheered with you, I know that you have interesting stories about how you made the team. Can you share a little bit about your story and tell our audience what gave you the motivation to keep auditioning, to keep trying until you reach that ultimate goal of becoming a top cat?
Who do you wanna go first?
It's whoever
I'll go
feels
first.
called to.
Okay, so growing up, I didn't know that there were professional dance teams or cheer teams. I didn't even get wind of a professional team until I was in college. And I was a cheerleader in college, and I saw my captain at the time getting ready for the Bobcats, now the Hornets. And I was like, they got professional teams out in like the NBA and NFL. So that was my first like introduction to the professional world. My super senior year, in college, I decided to try out for TopCats with no knowledge of how to prepare at all. I didn't grow up training as a dancer. I was a cheerleader. I was a stomp and shake cheerleader. Had no technique whatsoever. But I like to perform. I like to dance. So I tried out and I didn't make it past the first round. That was when it was at the Ritz Carlton. It was at the Ritz Carlton, and I
Mhm.
called my friend to pick me back up like 2 hours later. So from there, it kind of like that right there gave me the push because I've always been one to work really, really hard and not to like sound like bratty, but like if I work hard, I get the things that I want because I'm going to work hard for it. So I was determined. I was like, I want to cheer for this team. After years of training, I auditioned again. I made it to the second round the second time. I didn't make it. And so the third time that I tried out, I was actually living in Pennsylvania at the time. And, I was kind of getting up there in age. But I told myself it was going to be the last time I tried out. But if it was gonna be my last time, I was gonna put everything and my all into it. This was during COVID, so that's when virtual classes were at its peak. I was taking classes almost every day in my living room with my jazz shoes, figuring out how to turn, how to do a calypso, like all these different things. And I remember seeing, I think you, Jasmine, on the video. It was the "We Are Family." It was that one, and ended up turning that in, and I was already moving back home to Charlotte, and a week before I moved, I got an email from TopCats that I made it to semis. So that was like I felt like that was confirmation already, but I just stayed the course. I stayed persistent. When I came back, I was taking a virtual class from Annalise. I didn't know her at the time, but she was teaching like a sideline and a little dance, and just doing what I needed to do. I remember the day I got the call. I actually missed the call because I took a nap because I had so much anxiety. I was like, let me just go to sleep. And then I woke up and I got a voicemail from Shonda. She was telling me to call her back. And then when I called her back, she told me I made the team. And it was just like, that was a life altering moment in my life because I knew it was the last time I was going to try out for a professional team. And I just felt like all my years of hard work was worth it. And outside of just like my own self motivation, my daughter was motivating me because I wanted to show her that you do whatever you want if you set your mind to it. And I just wanted to be that inspiration for her.
So how many years did you audition before you made the team?
So in total years from the first time I auditioned to when I made a team was 6 years. I tried out for Top Cats 3 times,
Okay.
but I tried out for other teams in between, but I did not make Top Cats until 6 years later.
Oh, that's persistence at
Yeah,
its core for sure.
and I think it speaks to, like, you're gonna get told no more than you get told yes, but it's what you do with that no. I think
Mhm.
sometimes a lot of people get told no the first time, and they think it's just not for them. It just may not be for them for that season, for that time, for whatever reason, but it doesn't mean give up.
Exactly. That's such a great lesson.
Mhm.
You're such an inspiration. I love that. You're a rock
Yeah.
star. Rika, can you share with us about your Top Cat journey and how the story to making the team?
Yeah, Journey to Top Cats. It's kind of similar to Brandy's, but a little bit different. I went to a game when I want to say in the second grade, had to been like 10 years old, and absolutely fell in love with the Top Cats and knew right then and there that that's what I wanted to be when I became of age and grew up. And so, I mean, we danced together growing up all through grade school. Me and Jazzy danced together. I think you knew this, Brandy, but for the listeners, we danced together. And then I went off to college and danced. And after college, I kind of needed a little break from dance. So I taught dance for about 5 years. And within teaching dance at a local studio, I was like, all right, I think I'm ready to perform again. And so I remember working with you, Jasmine. We would get together a lot, and I was young and hungry to make a team, and I was doing the most. And I auditioned. I want to say it was 2017, maybe 2018. I'm not sure. It
Sounds
was
about
definitely
right.
before COVID. I want to say it was 2018. Had the best time. during that audition, like just being back and immersed in the dance world and performing. Cause, I taught dance, but I wasn't like being the performer. So it felt good to be back. And I even had my younger sister audition with me that year. And I was just like, I felt
Mm.
so back in my element. And so I made it to, I guess, the final round of audition. And back then they let you know the next day if you made it. And I didn't get the answer I was looking for. So obviously I was like devastated and so sad, but I knew this is what I wanted to be. So I was like, we'll be back next year. I'll see you. I'm going to train. I'm going to keep working out towards these goals and got with, I think I like reached out to the TopCats personal trainer at the time, which was one-on-one body design. And we were working out together and that was intense and hard. And then audition season comes around and unfortunately, again, I did not get the answer I was looking for. And I think that time really hurt more than the first time, right? It cut a little bit deeper and I was like, okay, okay. And I had to sit with that one a little bit longer. So the following year, it would have been 2020. It would have been COVID year. And some changes were happening, right? The world was changing. I think I was getting ready to move to a different state. But then COVID happened and I stayed put in Charlotte. And then I actually ended up having a surgery. And they announced that this year's or 2021's audition was going to be coming up and it would be virtual starting off versus like an in-person. I think this was the very first virtual audition. And actually you texted me, Jasmine, and you texted me the link and was like, see you there. And I said, I just had a surgery. I'm supposed to be, listening to the doctor and, not, doing too much. And you're like, I don't know. Let's see if you can do it. The deadline's in June. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I had my mindset on, I was like, I'm going to take a year off. I still might be moving. I don't really know what life has to offer right now as far as being a professional cheerleader. And honestly, if it wasn't for you, Jasmine, I would have not auditioned if you didn't check in on me. So I really do owe you all that credit. And I really appreciate just that support because I really would not have auditioned if I didn't have someone in my corner, cheering and rooting me on. So I waited until the very last moment to submit my video and I did it. And I was invited to the next round to auditions and ultimately ended up making the team with Brandi in 2021. And obviously, that was a long time coming because I had auditioned. That would have been my third year auditioning for TopCats, but kind of similar to Brandi. I had auditioned for other teams, and it had been 11 years of auditioning before I even got a single yes.
Wow.
So don't give up. If you really do want something, don't give up. And then also lean in on those people that are, your support system, right? Not everyone does invest in your dreams, but the one person who does can make a huge difference. So thank you, Jasmine, for that push and that just simple text message. If I had never gotten that, I probably would have never gotten to experience the Top Cat journey. So yeah.
Well, you're so
Thank
welcome. Thanks for sharing that, first of all.
you.
And yeah, I actually remember that when you tell that story. I had forgotten about that I did send that text, but
I'm
yeah,
serious,
so
if
proud.
you had not texted me that day, I would have just, kept on going. I could be in Texas by now. I could have been somewhere I mean, I was getting ready to leave, the state of North Carolina, and so I'm happy I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. I'm happy you didn't either, and Texas will
Me
still be
too.
there, you know?
I was like, "Mm-mm, not for me." I
Yeah.
was like, no. Where are
Yeah.
the trees?"
Well, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of both of you, and
Yeah.
yeah, just being so bold and persevering through all those years
Mhm.
and staying true to yourself, but also knowing that you had something inside of you that you had to give and you knew that you were going to be on that team and you just kept believing, right? So I think y'all's stories are true testaments to anybody out there that's thinking, okay, can I make this team? If I don't make it, it's not the end of the world. I can come back. I can come back again and again. And if I really want it, it'll be meant for me. And if it's not, then
Mhm.
something else, maybe even better, is meant for me. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, just keep trying, everyone. These stories are so important, and everybody's story is different, and everybody's journey to how they make a team is different. But just keep going. So thank y'all for sharing that.
Of course.
What were some of what were some of the major hurdles or feedback that you received and hurdles that you faced during the audition process? And what would you tell hopefuls today on how to work through those?
The first thing that's coming to mind for me as a hurdle is it happens so quick, right? Whether it's a weekend or 2 weekends or a month, it still is everything is moving so fast. There's a lot of choreography being thrown at you super quickly that you want to perfect and, be able to perform at your best ability. But with that, with all the intensity and everything that's being thrown at you, resting is going to be your best friend because if you are drilling and staying up late and waking up early and your body is fatigued and you're not resting, you're going to burn out. I experienced that my very last audition. I felt like I didn't have the energy compared to the very first three that I did. And I was glitching literally on stage. Like it felt like I was like just it felt like I was getting like a blanket thrown over my head because your body has got to rest. You obviously have to eat properly, make sure you're eating and drinking enough water, but like taking those down moments and not going into overdrive. And if you're properly preparing yourself throughout the year, there will be no need to cram. And if you're like taking those dance classes and just staying trained up instead of just like trying to get it all in within a month, you'll feel better, which means you'll be able to rest easier and be able to relax because you're confident in your ability to perform. So that was a hurdle for me is like, I feel like as a dancer or just a professional athlete, allowing yourself to just rest and relax and not feel guilty about it. Like, I feel like I was constantly like, oh, I need to be up doing something and working towards something and not taking the time to woosah, meditate, sleep, take
Yeah.
a nap.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that was a hurdle for me.
So important to rest your body, especially, and I hate to say it, but the older we get, we have to rest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to hurt.
Uh,
You can't
yeah.
just jump out of bed these days. Can't just sleep
No,
any old
ma'am.
way.
You
Another
got to
thing that
start
came to
early.
mind is comparing yourself. When
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
surrounded by so much talent, it's nice to admire
Mhm.
people's talent and beauty because there's so much of it around you, but not to get lost in the sauce of like, oh, wait, she's stunning. Am I
Mhm.
like, but you start to kind of compare once you get, around it so much. So, like, being
Mhm.
able to kind of put those blinders on, and I'm not saying isolate yourself and like not talk to anyone and not look at anyone and not cheer and support for anyone, but reminding yourself like, "No, you're talented too. You wouldn't be in this room if you weren't, and, like, you're beautiful too," and it not just in the audition space, but, like, if and when you make the team, reminding yourself that the entire time of being on the team, because just because someone's light is also bright doesn't mean yours can't be either, and so just
Mhm.
trying not to compare. I remember when we would be able to watch people's auditions. I think my first couple years you didn't watch, or I don't maybe like that was semis, but you get to watch people's auditions. And so that was
Yeah.
really hard for me. Like cheer them on when they would come out. And I would like look down. I didn't want to psych myself out. I'm just like, and then when the music ended,
Or you
Gotta do
just
what you
stared
gotta
there like
do.
right.
this.
Yeah.
Just I
Yeah.
had to be locked in. And
Right.
I know me, not that I'm gonna, like, compare every single routine, like, "Oh, I gotta look like that," or no.
Mhm.
It was more so like, "Alright, if this person messes up, then do I even know the routine, and did it." You just start to psych yourself out, so
Yeah.
for me, I needed to obviously, I'm gonna interact when the times are appropriate to, like, make friends, but I also know when to lock in. and stay in my lane. Okay.
That's so important, but I'm glad you realized that you said lock in, but also make those connections.
I agree with Trika. It's I don't know, it's easy for me to like be a part of the space, but also like worry about myself. I don't know. I'm able to like disassociate like that.
Mhm.
But I know it's not easy for everybody. So yeah, if I could give any advice to anybody when they're in the room and they feel like they're comparing, I would say just be more so on the side of like admiring, like, oh my gosh, I get to be in this space with all these amazing people and they share the same dream that I do and we love to do the same thing rather than like, oh my gosh, is her kick higher than mine? Oh my gosh, is she gonna do a strut better than me? Like, it's the privilege and the luxury of being able to do this that can make you feel better rather than thinking about like the negative side of it.
Yes.
Mhm.
But what I was going to say is one of the biggest things I've learned, and maybe I didn't, I mean, I kind of knew this in my life, but the word compartmentalize like was my number one word the entire time I was a top cat. Being able to focus on what's happening in the present, you have the future in mind, but right now, as a business owner, I'm dealing with a lot of women who aspire to be on a professional team and they're, wanting that dream. But sometimes I have to help them understand, yes, that's the goal, but let's focus on this.
Mm.
Where are we at right now? Be present in this moment so you can give your all in this moment. Then when we pass that threshold, then we get to the next step and the next step. So being able to compartmentalize through your audition process, video submission, what does that look like? Put your focus on that because that's going to get you to the next step. If you're focused on the next step, that's not going to get you there.
Mm.
Focus on the present, enjoy the present, embrace the present. Everybody don't do this. I don't know a lot of people in my friend group that's doing what I was doing.
Mhm.
So like enjoy that moment. Then you make it to the next thing. All right, semis is coming up. How do I focus on this weekend? What can I do to best prepare myself for this weekend? Of course, again, future in mind, but just compartmentalize, take it one step at a time. It's easier said than done, but it will help your brain not overload. It'll help you not overload your brain with so many things that you're trying to think about and the what ifs and the who and stay in the present.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's so important. I just took so many notes on that because that's like, yes, T. Is it supposed to be the middle finger? I think so. Or clock it, whatever it's called. I
Clock
don't know what kids
it.
call it these days. But when you say that, like, yes, you gotta stay in the present. You only gotta think of you still have to think about the future, like you said, future in mind, but you only gotta think about what's the most important thing that needs to be for in the future. Like whether that be whatever your attire is and whatever the rule is for that audition. Yes, you want to make sure you have that in time so you're prepared when that time comes. But like if you future in mind, present is the most important thing right now. I love that. And I think a lot of times in the day and age that we're living in, we tend to think about the future way too much. We have all these things in front of us, like social media, and telling us what we should be doing and telling us
Right.
what we're not doing. And we feel like we're behind because we're not doing these things. It's kind of like, no, you're right where you need to be. Take a step
Or you're
back.
trying to do everything at once.
Yeah, you can't do everything at once. I also think that's an American thing. We are so, I don't know, we just are so much of like overachievers, I feel like in America. And we don't take time to rest. Back to Trika's point too. There's people in other countries that take siestas during the middle of the day. We're just go, 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 go. We
Mhm.
don't know how to rest. So
Yeah.
that's besides the point. But anyway, yes, I think compartmentalizing is so important. And
And I was going to say something in
yeah, go
addition
ahead.
to that. If you are picking up that habit now, it will better prepare you for when you do make the team
Mhm.
because you're only preparing for auditions. Once you make the team, there's so much more you have to prepare for. I mean, even think about game day.
Mhm.
Those 4 quarters last a little long. So instead of thinking about, oh, I can't wait to get to fourth quarter, think about, okay, quarter one, what's the goal? What we're doing? Quarter two. Because if you're waiting on fourth quarter, you're going to feel like you're out there for 8 hours. So just take it one step at a time. If you want to make it football related, make one quarter at a time.
Love that. Love that. So we talked a little bit about resting and refueling yourself. What types of meals best fueled you for games, for auditions? And if you have any specific breakfast, lunch, and dinner ideas, please share them. This is actually a question I got directly from my audience, so the people wanna know.
Well, I would first say I'm not a nutritionist. And I think for me, I may not have the right answer, but this has worked for me as someone who has been like an athlete all my life. I kind of prepared myself the way I used to prepare for track meets. First things first, like hydrating all the time.
Mhm.
Our coach on TopCats, Shonda used to say, if you're trying to hydrate the day before, 2 days before, it's too late. So make sure you're consistently hydrating all the time, but also making sure you're eating balanced meals all the time. I think something that worked for me as an adult is not eating huge, heavy meals every meal, but eating smaller, more frequent meals. So that way I'm not feeling so heavy, but I'm consistently fueled. Another thing that works for me, like the night before, and it may not work for everybody else, but I eat like hearty meals where there's like pasta. Well, more times than not, pasta. That's what I used to do when I used to run track, and it used to help me feel fueled the next day. So that's what I always did. And then, like as a top cat, obviously, like game days and stuff, you would have a well balanced breakfast, whether that be eggs and toast and you know anything, fruit, anything that will make you feel good. I'm the type of person that I have to eat before I do it. Anything. Some people feel like they don't need to eat, and you don't ever want to do that. You don't ever want to do that. So make sure that you're fueling your body with something that is going to give you some type of fuel in your body. Eating raisins is not going to help you feel fueled. So eating something that's like nutritious and hearty to me helps me feel the most fueled.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's great advice. Trika, do you have anything to add to that in terms of, like, what fueled you during games, before auditions?
Trying to like reflect back on what my diet was like. I can tell you what not to eat on game days. I mean, for me, I couldn't do a ton of caffeine on game days. Like the energy drinks, the Red Bulls, the
5 hour
Lonnie,
energy.
the what?
That's for the 5 hour energy.
Yeah, no, that was not on my regiment. Okay. That was not going into my body. All I needed was a cup of matcha or one cup of coffee, and that was enough energy because your adrenaline is already going on a game day. Just, I knew if I had taken a energy drink or a Lonnie or a Celsius, it was going to jack me up and I was going to crash before the game even had started. So I just try to resort to like natural energy or just again that one cup of coffee or a cup of matcha and again getting a good night's sleep. I made sure to eat a good meal the day before game days, like whether it was a kava bowl. Kava was my jam or it still is. Getting some rice, chicken, some veggies in a bowl. Like that was nice and filling, but I didn't feel super heavy. For breakfast, the practices are right super early. Those game days, call times are super early. Adjusting to wanting to eat that early, it took some time to get accustomed to. So I always had like a bar in my bag, like a breakfast bar or an apple that I could put in my bag. Things that were going to fill me because you're on the go. It's early. Like you don't have time to make a breakfast. At least I didn't. Was I gonna make a breakfast at 4:30 in the morning, okay? Having my cup of coffee, my kind breakfast bar, and we're on the road to the stadium. I'm a big Caesar salad girl. Throw some grilled chicken on it. Easy, cheap. Yeah, I love rice too. Brown rice. Making sure you're getting those meals. Missing meals is not going to set you up for success. I would not recommend that. I don't care if you want to look cute in your uniform. Feel your body. I'm really, really big on that, heavy advocate. Being an NFL cheerleader, especially for the Carolina Panthers out on that turf, is not for the weak. In the summer, in the fall, the spring, the winter, you have got to eat. This is not an AC conditioned dome. The weather conditions are going to get you, and you have got to be fueled. So find what you like, find what's good for your body. Okay, this is what I have to say about this, Jasmine. When I cheered my, I think it was my second or third year, I found out I was sensitive to a lot of food too. So I was having a lot of diet issues. So I
Mhm.
was constantly trying to figure out what wasn't going to upset my stomach, oat me, but also fuel me at the same time. I have a lot of like write outs and papers that doctors gave me of good foods that weren't going to like make me sensitive. And it was hard to, get a hold of. It was really hard, but always
Yeah.
eat what feels good to you and, don't miss meals and don't over caffeinate.
Mm, yeah,
That's my
that's
advice.
so true. There's some people that can drink those energy drinks and some people that just can't.
I was not the one. I had that Alani Cosmic Stardust, and I thought I was gonna be on the moon my first game.
That's so funny.
I thought I was going to fly to outer space that day.
One more thing that I would say, I don't know when this is coming out, but just something for people who are going to auditions in person to have some snacks with them
Mhm,
throughout, because they're going to be
mhm.
dancing full out, full hours on end.
Long.
Yes.
So just need just a couple nice nutritious snacks and fuel, water, hydration, all those things to make sure that if you need it, it's there.
Rice cakes are a good
Absolutely.
snack. I remember the rice cakes were the thing the year we made the
I have
team.
some in my pantry.
You do? Yeah. Yeah.
A good
A
snack
good
if
little
you need like, yeah, grains and protein is like rice cakes,
yeah.
cottage cheese, and I think like salmon on top or something. It's
What on
actually
top?
kind of good. I think
Spinach?
I've had it before. My ex, I gave
What
it
is
to me
it?
one time, and it was really good. It's a rice cake, and you put like cottage cheese on top. I know cottage cheese doesn't sound that great, but it's
Okay.
actually really good. And then like salmon on top, or like cheddar.
Salmon. I thought you said spinach.
No,
Like, what kind of salmon? Like, raw or, like, is cooked?
the salmon that not salmon, tuna, not salmon,
Oh, I
but
love
tuna that
tuna.
comes in, like, the pack. Yeah, it's actually
Tuna's
really
great.
good, y'all. Or maybe even just the rice cake and cottage cheese.
You lost me at cottage cheese. I could do a rice cake with some tuna. That sounds with the cottage
Or if you
cheese.
don't like cottage cheese, you can do rice cake, cheddar cheese, like little shredded cheddar cheese, and then some
Mm,
tuna. That's also really good.
okay.
I'm just saying, don't knock it
I'll try it.
until you try it.
Mhm.
I wish we had some to taste test right now.
I know.
I know, I wish I did. Next time.
Yeah.
So, I do wanna get into Brandi, you are, like I said before, a superwoman. Both of you are. But
Thank
Brandi,
you.
you
Yes.
specifically
Mhm.
had a baby
Yeah.
and then still had the urge to re-audition again.
I'm a psycho.
You had already been on the team. You had your
Mhm.
beautiful baby boy. You came back to audition. I
Mhm.
can't imagine what that would be like. I don't have kids, but I know that having a kid is a huge commitment. It does a lot to your body. Can you just tell us about what that was like?
Yeah, so I was going into my third season. I'll tell you, I was in the best shape of my adult life. I trained my body. I then lost a few extra pounds I had wanted to lose because I was also preparing for my wedding. Lost the weight, got married. Well, I made the team, had my wedding, went on my honeymoon. I knew when I was coming back, we was getting ready for the seasons. Super excited to start my third year, as like a vet, you kind of feel like comfortable. Now you're getting out of your shell. Like I was just so excited. And then after training camp, I had noticed, I was a little late. I wasn't tripping too bad because I know sometimes like as an athlete, things are a little off. So I was texting Kiasha, who is currently on the team now. I was texting her and, she suggested that I take a pregnancy test. So I bought one on the way to practice. Bought one on the way to practice, and this is when the dome was still alive, RIP. And this is like the Wednesday before the game. And we were practicing our sidelines in the bathroom. I was like, oh, let me take this test. Took the test. And I honestly, full heartedly did not think I was. I thought I was just, So we're practicing sidelines and like I'm not even thinking about it. Cash was like, oh, check it. And I was like, okay. And it was positive. I was like,
Wow.
and it's like 6:55. And I was like, well, I guess we gotta go to practice.
Wow.
So that whole practice, Kiasha is like crashing out. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
um, I was not prepared for that. Anyway, fast forward, I end up telling Shondelay. She's in tears, more so like happy for me, things like that. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna go as long as I can because I'm not a person to give up. I want it like this is a dream of mine, and I'm not gonna let a pregnancy hold me back. So I danced as long as I could. I do have a pattern of having early pregnancies, and so kind of midway through the season, I was able to get a procedure called a cerclage, where they go and kind of close up your cervix. Just kind of some biology here. Your cervix kind of keeps you from like opening and your child coming out. So mine is really, really short. And when you are very athletic, it can make it super, super short to the point where it starts opening. And so they gave me a cerclage to keep it closed. And I had to sit out for 2 weeks. And after the 2 weeks, they said, "Well, come back, we'll reevaluate you, and you should be good to go." So after the 2 weeks, I was still going to practice. I was still like dancing, but not like full out. But I was still dancing because, I can't sit down. And I went back after the 2 weeks, and the doctor told me I couldn't dance anymore. And I was so upset because I wanted to finish out my season. Fast forward, Avery, who is my son, wasn't due until April. So I already knew I wasn't coming back the following season. But I was like, I'll take a year off. Obviously, I'll take a year off. And if it's meant for me, I'll come back. But if not, I enjoy my time. The day after New Year's, January 2nd, I was actually teaching a virtual class for my job at the time. And I started what I thought was going to the bathroom on myself. From my first child, my water never broke, so I never understood what that was like. So I thought I went to the bathroom and I never stopped using the bathroom. It just kept coming out. End up, calling my husband. I ended up calling my husband. He came, he drove me to the hospital, and they told me my water broke, but I didn't go into labor. So they told me I had to stay in the hospital until I went into labor. So that was right before our last game of the season. Chandelier was going to be gracious enough for me. I'll say that Chandelier let me be as much as a part of the team as she possibly could. Like just being around, whenever there was an appearance, she would let me like help. For junior top cats, I was like a volunteer leading the juniors coming out. And so for this last game, she was going to let me be a field assistant. And I was like, okay, this is going to kind of give me my head start to when the time comes, blah, blah, blah. So I called her and I was like, Chandelier, I can't be a field assistant. She was like, why? I said, I'm in the hospital. 2 weeks later, I ended up going into labor and Avery was born. And because he was so early, obviously he couldn't come home with me. He was in the NICU. 2 days later, I was discharged. I called Trica because my husband had to work. I said, can you come pick me up? Trica picked me up from the hospital. And she was like, what happened? And I said, oh, I hate Avery.
I remember exactly where I was when you called me too. That's
Because I didn't really
hilarious.
tell anybody.
I was like,
I just, oh yeah, I had Avery. You can take me home though. So ended up going home, and I was just at home, just chilling. And then I don't know where I was at. I think Trica, we went to some
the ballet,
events.
the
Yeah, a
ballet,
ballet at
the
Founders
Bloomington.
Hall.
Okay.
I think it was at Founders Hall.
Yes.
And we were just talking, and I don't know who said it, but something, or maybe Chandelier, someone said something about trying out again. And I was
Mhm.
like, I guess I could, but I hadn't really thought about it.
Mhm.
Um, and so I went home and I talked to Eugene about it, and I was like, should I come back? Or should I try out again? I'm like 150 pounds, and this may not seem like a lot of weight to someone, but for me,
Mhm.
who was just 113, 15 pounds, now I'm 150, 6 weeks postpartum, talking about should I try out again? It sounded crazy, but I woke up one day and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try again. So I hit up Marissa from Westcat. I talked to Chandelier and I said, I'm gonna go for it. I don't know where I'm gonna be when auditions come around, but I'm gonna go. And this whole time, Avery's in the NICU, so I'm on maternity leave. So if I'm not with Avery in the NICU, spending hours just watching him sleep, I was at Westcap. I joined Burn Boot Camp. I was doing everything I needed to do to just try to drop as much as I could. I was taking dance classes, all the things, and submitted my registration to audition again. 2 weeks before semis, I have to go back to work, and Avery's still not home. So I go back to work, and then a week before semis, they call me because when a baby's in a NICU, they don't confirm that they can go home until like 48 hours, 24 hours in advance.
Mhm.
So he came home on April 1st, and semis was that weekend. So I went to semis fresh back at work and with a newborn baby. which was the most chaotic thing I've ever experienced because I didn't get no sleep.
Oh
The
my
sleep
goodness.
that we talk about to get, I
Mm,
wasn't getting it. So I already knew I was coming in at a disadvantage. I was the heaviest I'd ever been. I was very uncomfortable in my clothes. I was sleep deprived,
mhm,
but I said, I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna be my best self. And I'm gonna enjoy the moment. I'm gonna enjoy the experience. I'm back dancing with my friends. I don't care what happens. I'm just glad I did it. So that's the mindset I had going into my fourth season. Not to say I didn't think I wasn't gonna make it because there was a, I didn't I just didn't feel like I performed my best. Obviously, I could barely pick my feet up off the ground. But I feel like Shondelay knew how hard I was gonna work to get back to where I needed to be,
mm,
and I appreciate her for that grace because a lot of people, a lot of coaches don't give you any grace no matter what the circumstances are, and I feel like Shondelay is the type of person who understands people's stories, and depending on what that story is and your work ethic will give you the opportunity. So, that was my story on, going in going into my third and then coming into my fourth, and that whole summer, I kept working, kept working because I said, I'm not about to be looking crazy in this uniform.
yeah,
And I continued to work, throughout the season. Even when the season started, I wasn't where I wanted to be. And so it was my whole fourth season was a constant battle
mm,
to get back into shape. Then I wasn't at my best at the start of the season. I didn't get to my best until Pro Bowl.
mm,
That's when I felt my best. And it's like, dang, it's the end now. It was another life altering experience because I had to not only navigate the current lifestyle I already had prior to my son, but then adding on that additional thought, that additional life I had to take care of. It was a lot. But it taught me again that I'm stronger than I think I am. Anything that I put my mind to, I'm going to do it. And I think also because I had the support that I had from my husband and my family and my friends and my teammates, it just made me feel like even more that this dream was worth fighting for.
yeah.
Okay, that's it. I'm gonna be quiet.
No, yeah, and that season, you became that season you became a captain, right? Your 4th season, and you went to Pro Bowl.
Yeah. And yeah, cat I was not I was like, I'm just happy to be in the space. I was just happy to be in the space. So that opportunity as well was kind of like I was very, very appreciative. It was a humbling experience opportunity because it's like I felt like I sometimes I feel like I'm not giving my best, but I'm just giving the best that I can give. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So to feel like people see that and appreciate it was very, very special.
Yeah, you're an inspiration. I'm sure your teammates saw it, Shondelay saw it, people from the outside looking in saw it. Like,
Yeah.
that's an incredible story. So just so I get the timeline right, you had your baby what month? It was
January.
January, and then throughout that time, you kind of got
I
your
didn't
body
start
ready.
getting back in shape until the middle of February because I had to wait 6 weeks
Okay, and then you auditioned again, but you were
in
kinda
April.
pregnant during that 3rd season.
I was pregnant the entire third
3rd
season.
season. Wow,
The first game, I was already
that
pregnant.
is wow.
Yeah.
Props
Yeah.
to you, and props to everyone who has had kids and
Oh, yeah. Because
and
there's two more of us who end up having a child or getting pregnant during that season, but they had their babies way later. Shout out to Ebony and Amanda.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I don't know. We had a pregnancy pact or something.
Yeah, something was in the water. Something was definitely in
Something was
the
happening.
water.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a crazy, crazy, crazy time.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that
Of
story.
course.
That's incredible.
So all the moms out there, it sounds crazy, but if I can do it, you can do it. No matter the circumstance, you can do it. Do it for yourself and for your babies. Sometimes I know it's hard because I was a single mom at one point trying to live the dream. But even when you are with somebody, it's still hard just having to navigate that space. But, it would be a disservice to you if you do not at least try
Yeah.
because you don't ever want to look back and say, I wish. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, so incredible. You're just such an inspiration.
Yeah.
Trika, I wanna talk about your matcha business. Tell us how you started that and I know you have your matcha mantras. So, like, I also want you to tell us, like, what would be your mantra for audition season?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I want to say that Top Cats ultimately has prepared me to be a small business. Like, if I never went through Top Cats, I don't think I would be as somewhat successful as I am now with juggling all the things a small business owner has to do, right? Like we talked about compartmentalizing. If we did not have that drilled into our brains when we're on the team, and then I'm sure you know the saying, head on a swivel, head on a swivel. If I didn't already know what that lifestyle was like, I don't think I would be somewhat sane as a small business owner. I always tell people Top Cats prep me for life as a small, like it really is just me. I'm finally trying to get a actual team and staff put together. I actually have interviews and trainings tomorrow, which I'm so excited about, to officially hire like 2 people. And I've had like people help me, like Brandi has come out to an event and like taken content for me. And I've had Malia, who's a former teammate, also help me out. She's always down to help me out. And, those have been like family and friends, like just like saying, I'll come help you, but I'm actually finally going to hire people, which is so exciting. And it's going to take a lot off of my plate. But your question was, how did I get started? Was that the question?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I love that question when people ask me, and I always get asked at events, like, how'd you get started? And everyone's always so curious. And then the second question is, do you have a store? Do you have a brick? Like, no, not yet, but that is the goal. So, how did we get started was actually during 2020, during like a very heavy time in the world for us, especially as millennials. I feel like this is our first big heavy hit as adults. It was hard, right? I was single. I didn't know if I was auditioning. I was very isolated. I lived by myself. So I spent a lot of time alone, and I spent a lot of time on my phone, on social media, and I was scrolling a lot. And I don't know if you remember, but it was really heavy, like not just COVID, but the George Floyd movement, the Black Lives Matter. It was very heavy for a woman of color and just a person of color to see what was happening in our world. And just like the comments, there's a lot of negativity, even with like the world being shut down and people just being mean and nasty. I'm like, where's the kindness? Like, what's going on? Like, it just didn't feel good anymore to be scrolling on social media. And so I was getting ready to just delete the app and I was just going to delete. And I was like, no, like, why do I need to delete something? Because I love looking at people's pictures. I love looking at posts. I love posting. Like, I love the art of social media, but I was feeling like I was getting sucked in and dragged down by the negativity of it. So I was like, all right, what can you do to change the narrative, right? Like, if you like being on social media, but you're not liking what you're seeing, how can you change that? How can you fix that versus just being like, I'm done? So I started like catering before there was an algorithm, catering my algorithm to things that I wanted to see. So that meant I was unfollowing pages and people that I thought were very negative. And I started following people and places and pages that I thought were uplifting. So I did that. Then I said, okay, maybe I can start posting and contributing to the positivity. And so I started posting mantras, like positive affirmations of like love and light and peace and just like good things that I think my followers would also like to see. Okay. So that was 2020 where I started like the mantra part of it. Okay. 2021, like the world's opening back up. We're back in office. I'm not as isolated at home. I was working a job that got acquired, and that new job that acquired it was not the job that I was loving previously. Like things had changed, the culture had changed, and ultimately I did not like my job and I did not like where I was at. And I dreaded Mondays. I'm sure we've all heard the phrase Sunday's scary. Well, I was consumed by that. Like, I was having panic attacks before work on Monday, and I just really would freak out. And so, to kind of get excited for Mondays, I would get a matcha to treat myself on a Monday to get excited to look forward to the work week. So, I then combined those mantras and my matcha and I into a post on a Monday. And so that was 2021, 2022. I did that almost every Monday. Go get a matcha, post it, put a little cute matcha on it. Peace within me, peace around me. That's it. 2023, we took a big turn in a not so great direction. So you think. I was laid off in May of 2023. And actually, that was the mantra I said right before I got let go. Peace within me, peace around me. Um, I was let go in May of 2023. And then I was able to bounce back pretty quickly. And I was let go again from my next job that I had just got in October of 2023. So twice in 1 year. I felt just horrific with my self-esteem. I just felt very lost. I felt maybe this is not where I'm supposed to be. Maybe this is not my calling. Maybe I'm not supposed to be in this type of setting, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to take the rest of the year off. I'm going to enjoy Top Cats. I'm going to take the rest of the year off. They gave me a little, what is it called? Severance. So I was like, all right, I can live off that a little bit. And January, I'll get back in the job market and figure out what it is I'm supposed to do. So January comes and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with my life. I'm like, all right, am I supposed to get back into corporate? I don't know. I'm a little scared. I'm a little traumatized by these last two layoffs. I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be. And I just remember one night in January, mid-January, I woke up dead out of my sleep. Like it had to have been like 2 or 3 a.m., right? What do they call it? The witching hour or whatever. But I woke up, literally just arose, walked to my desk and got a notepad and a pen and just started writing, listing off all the things I love, all the things that I already do, all the things I would love to do, all the things I don't love to do, all the things I don't want to do. And I started connecting dots here. And then it was so obvious to me that something that I had already been doing since 2020 with the mantras, the matcha, the meditation, for my job, I was already planning events. As a hobby, I was hosting dinner parties. It was just so obvious, like, oh my goodness, it's been here all along, right? And I don't know if you know this about me, Jasmine, and Brandi, I think you know, but I grew up in the service industry. My first job was at McDonald's. My next job, I was a waitress. I bartended. I've worked in like the service industry for many, many years, all through college. So I've always been customer service oriented. I'm big on providing good service and yeah. And so I was like, light bulb just like came over me. And I wrote the Matcha Mantra Mondays mobile pop-up bar business plan that night. And the next day I went to the yoga studio and told the business owner, and she said to me, "You're on your way," which is one of the business's mantra is "You're on your way." And so to answer your question of what mantra would you give to someone that's auditioning, I would say that to them as well. Like, if you're already thinking about it, you're on your way, right? You're already on the right path. Like, these things don't just like happen. Like, everything is with intention and a reason. So, like, even if you haven't been dancing your whole life and you want to be a professional cheerleader and say, like, you started in college, like Brandi, you're already on your way, right? So don't get discouraged. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of work. But the things that you've already been doing have already given you the foundation to be where you want to be, if that makes sense. That's the first thing that came to mind is you're on your way. And that was like the big, like same thing with what you did for me, Jasmine, that text message. It was the small thing that made the big impact. That one thing that this woman said to me really championed my career. That one text that you sent to me really gave me the motivation um, to go back and fight for the spot to audition. So I started planning Matcha Matcha Mondays January, February, March, April, May, June. We soft launched it at the yoga studio. And so right before that soft launch, I called the woman that told me you're on your way. And I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm not ready. I was petrified, like terrified,
What were you
losing
scared
sleep.
of?
Huh? Oh, I was scared. Like, is anyone going to support me? Is, is anyone going to buy my matcha? Do I even know what I'm doing? Like, imposter syndrome, consumed with imposter syndrome. Can I do this and be an NFL cheerleader? How am I going to make money? Where am I going to get money from? Like, it was just all these things. Like, am I going to get a matcha and someone's going to make a TikTok and ruin me? It was just like I self-doubt over, and it was like sickening, like truly. I mean, I was ill, but to have someone in my corner who believed in me, who wasn't going to let me give up. Like, I called her to back out, to say, I'm not ready. I'm not doing this. And she said, yes, you are. See you on
Mm.
Sunday. And I faced my fears. Face your fears. You should be more afraid of your fears than failure. Did I say that right? Or is it backwards?
I got you.
Yeah,
You
I
should
said it.
yeah. You should be afraid of your
Fears?
goal a little
Yeah.
bit.
If your goals are not scaring you, what's the saying? They might not be big
They're not
enough.
big enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
uncomfortable. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
And have the support too. Again, Katie from the Coterie. Thank you. Seriously, thank you for holding me accountable. Thank you for believing in me. You just need one person to believe in you. Even when you
Yeah.
have that self-doubt, it can like change so much. So we're now in our third year of business.
Woo!
It's crazy. I just talked to my accountant today about my taxes, and he said that we made a profit this year, which means I owe.
Yay!
I said, how can
I
we make it
forgot. You
enough?
gotta be at a loss. I forgot.
I'm still trying to dig up receipts. I'm like, I know I'm like, he was like, no, you made money. I'm like, yay, but I know I want some money back.
You need
But
every gas receipt, every phone
Every little
bill.
I know.
thing.
Before I joined this call, I was going through like, did I miss anything? Like, what can I add on here? But I guess like I'll take it. Like that was my second year of business that I actually made a profit. I did not see that happening at all. And it couldn't have been possible again without Top Cats preparing me with the lifestyle that you live in Top Cats, the grind
Mm.
that you have to have, the drive, the determination to be able to go to an audition and get told no and then come back again, because that's what happens in business. Like you go
True.
to the bank, can I have a loan? No. Okay. See you in a couple
Yes.
months. See you in a year, like whatever. It's just like all those things led me to now here. So I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for Top Cats for teaching me everything that I can now apply to my small business. And so it's a lot of work. You gotta sleep, you gotta feel your like I think of matcha events as game days. Like I still prep
Mhm.
the same way as I do game days. Like the exact
Yeah.
same way. And yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
That's
work.
So proud
amazing.
of you, Trica. You're
Thanks,
doing
y'all.
amazing.
Yes.
Every time
Thanks.
I click and you're here, you're there, I'm like, when does this girl sleep? But you're grinding and
No,
it's inspiring.
thank you. I do sleep. I learned that the hard way. My first year, I was not sleeping and I was not sleeping good. My second year, last year, I got very sick at the end of the year. That led into January.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't ever want to experience that. Like burnout is
Yes. I remember you talking about
yeah,
scheduling like time for you so you can have that reset.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We
Mhm.
we
Practice
had to
what you
learn the
preach.
hard way, but we are learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. My gosh. And one thing you said, it just reminded me of rejection. Like going
Mm,
through auditions and going through just pro cheer in general, you get really good at being rejected,
yeah.
Yes.
just taking rejection.
Mhm. You're like,
Like you said, that happens in any part of your life. You're like, okay, didn't work out. what's
Yeah.
next, you know? Like,
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You
that's just
gotta,
how it is. That's how life is.
yeah. And you can mourn it for sure. Obviously, you want to hear the yes. You wouldn't have been there if you didn't want to get the answer you're looking for.
Right.
I would say mourning it is good. I think the second no I got from Top Cats, it was hurt me. Like I took it extremely personal and I was like, maybe dance isn't for me. Maybe no, I just went down a rabbit hole of like, maybe this is not my calling. And like again, that self-doubt and like again, Jasmine, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't have auditioned because I had just started telling myself that because I got a no, maybe this is not where I'm supposed to be. And that's not it at all. Like each team has a limited number and hundreds of girls come out and guys come out. Hundreds of
Mhm.
hopefuls come out and, you know, vie for a spot. And I went to a prep clinic in Miami, I wanna say in, like, 2019, and you would have thought I've never taken a dance class a day in my life, like, they can dance.
Wait, Miami
Yes,
I
I was
think I remember you telling me about this.
for the Dolphins?
No, the heat. So,
Yes.
after my 2nd year auditioning, I got a bad taste in my mouth with dance, with just myself. I was
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
"Maybe I'm just not good." And I just, like
Yeah.
my brain got rewired. So, later on so that was 2018, right? Or 2019, I'm losing track. But 2019, I was like, "Alright, let's try and get back into the groove again," right? So
So
2019, I was
let's go
like
to Miami.
hold on, Jack. Hold on, Brandi. I went in a lot of different places. I went to Boston, I went
Uh-huh.
to Atlanta, and I went to Miami. So my first
That's good
stop of the
though.
tour was Miami, and this is my
Mhm.
first dance class back into taking.
'Cause I know how Miami goes.
My gosh. I mean, I've danced my
Yes.
entire life, and I got out there with those girls, and it was so fast, it was so spicy, it was NBA, and I had not
Mhm,
really
mhm, mhm.
taken NBA style. I've been taking NFL style, but they are fast and they are spicy down there, and I was
Mhm.
in a whole different element, but I went through that prep class. They did across the floor, and the second you get across the floor, there's alumni there. The coaches are there on the other side of the floor giving you feedback, like
Wow.
raw, real
Like, saying
feedback
it or written down?
Like, as
to
soon as you
you.
go across the floor.
Soon as you
Uh,
go across the floor, they're like, I think the girl told me, like, your technique's good, but you're sloppy. You need to tighten it up. You need to clean up your movements. You need to like get out of your neck, like, or get out of your shoulders, like elongate your neck. Like they give it to you. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, I'm not used to this. Like, and
mhm.
so being able to take that feedback and be like, it's not personal. They're just trying to help you. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the biggest gift I could have gotten. Like, at the moment, I
Mhm.
was like, "Whoa, hold on." But then I left and I'm like, "Wow," like, I would have never known if they hadn't had said anything.
Right.
And then at
Right.
the end of that
Yeah.
prep class, someone had asked a question and was like, "How many spots are open?" And she was like, "Well, I only have 2 open spots if I keep all my bets." 2 spots. And there had to have been hundreds of people at that prep clinic. 2 spots.
Wow.
Okay, cool. But the coach said something, and it was like, if you don't make the team, that doesn't mean you're not good enough, doesn't mean you're not pretty enough. Like, it doesn't mean that your worth is diminished, right? Like, most teams, like, typically only have 5 to 7 on average open spots each year, unless it's like a big, something big
Like
shape,
our year.
you know? But she's like, it took me, this is the coach speaking at the time. I don't know if she's still the coach, but she said she had auditioned for the Miami Heat 4 times before she finally made the team. And then she became the coach. Like, that was like, that like just like gave me hope again. Like,
Yeah.
it's not over. You're not done. You're not, disposable. Like, you can be whatever. You can be a top guy. You can be a Miami Heat dancer. You can be whatever it is that you want to be. Just because you get that no the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, whatever time, if you want it, go make it happen. So
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool that she was vulnerable enough to share that. She had tried
Oh,
out
yeah.
4 times. I thought it was cool that they gave us some feedback. I really
Mhm.
appreciated that. Get
That in
feedback,
there.
take it. Don't get
Mhm.
offended by it. People just want to help you. Like,
Mhm.
if they're not saying something, I'd be worried. But,
Yeah.
I then started going to prep clinics. So I went to Atlanta and did a prep clinic there with the Falcons, and then I went to Boston with the New England Patriots, and then I took, I think, a couple online with Dallas, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So I
You
did a
gotta learn
tour.
from different Yeah, you did
Yeah.
a tour. You gotta learn from different people, different styles,
Mhm.
and doing a tour, that kinda sounds fun.
That's
It
fun.
was so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
fun. It was so much fun. I went with, like, friends. I think the only one I went solo was the one in New England, but then you get to make
Mhm.
new friends and yeah, it's like, enjoy the journey. Make it fun, like,
Yeah.
don't get so in your head. And I think that's what happened my first year auditioning, and I think I see that in a lot of hopefuls now, is that
Yeah.
they want it so bad, which is so nice. They want it so bad.
They want it so bad that they stress themselves so much about it that it doesn't become enjoyable anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It
Mhm.
becomes like work, like a task. And I feel like that kind of hinders people from blossoming in this journey.
Yeah.
Right.
You kinda
It
become
does.
robotic, and Jasmine,
It
I
does.
think you said this to me, and let me know if you remember this or not, but my first audition for Top Cats, I worked with you a lot, and you're like, "I think you're a little overprepared." You said something to me, basically like, "Tone it down."
I think I did. I remember saying that to you. Yeah, because you were so like you were very clean. You were such a clean dancer. And I was like,
Yeah.
just have fun a little bit, you know?
Yeah, like, and it shows that way, like, when people are so
Mhm.
tense and they want it so bad, it just doesn't come off natural or enjoyable, but yeah.
Wow. And I like how when you felt like dance maybe had let you down a little bit, you didn't kind of just sit in a corner and like maybe you did, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
you went and, like, tried different styles, different
Yeah.
atmospheres to kinda get your mind out of that just 'cause it could be all-consuming and you could think, like, the world is not as big as it like, you're in this small little bubble where Top
Mhm.
Cats or whatever team is, like, all
Right.
that's consuming you during that time of your life, but, like, if you take a step back, there's a whole big world out there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things going on, like, this isn't the only thing that's going on in your life. You gotta take a step back and look at the big picture, like, there's a lot of opportunities out there. This is not, the end all be all. So,
No, it's
yeah.
not.
Trika, you'd mentioned dancing with guys, and I wanna ask both of you, since both of you were on the team when we first introduced guys, I wanna talk about our Top Cat brothers.
Yeah.
Tell us about the transition going into a co-ed team during your era. I think when you all joined the team, it was co-ed,
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
you
Mhm.
didn't really know any different, but, like, how
Right.
was that?
I say for me, it wasn't different when I cheered in college. It was the same way. And coincidentally enough, Melvin, who joined the team when we all did, was my cheer brother in college. So it's I was kind of like back to where I was, but I know in the pro cheer world, it was still considered somewhat of a taboo or,
Mhm.
just trying to get in the groove of that.
Yeah. It didn't seem like this. I know it was big news because these are the first guys on the team, but I feel like I come from such a diverse background that to me it just seemed like more normal. Also, because
Mhm.
when we've seen male dancers, I grew up in a competitive dance space. Like, it was not unnormal to see guys dance and perform. So to me, it wasn't like, it just seemed like normal to me. I know that we weren't the very first team, though, to have male cheerleaders. There were male cheerleaders already out there, correct? The Top Cats
Yeah,
were the
I
very
think the
first?
Rams,
Oh, the
yeah.
Rams, yeah.
There are a couple teams that had some.
Yeah, so I was excited, especially because they came in our rookie class, and then,
Mhm.
my last line as a Top Cat, I had Tyrese, who was also one of the male cheerleaders. He was on my line. He's phenomenal, like, amazing dancer. I think they bring, like, a big dynamic, and yeah,
Mhm.
I'm all for diversity. I think it just makes things look better when it's not just all one type. I don't know. That's just my preference, but
Mhm.
yeah, I love our Top Cat brothers.
Yeah.
I think I was in this space of although this was kind of like a historic moment for Top Cats, I'm just kind of like, let's not make a thing. Like we're all here doing the same thing. We're here because we love to dance. We just made the team. It doesn't matter who you are, what you wear, whatever the case is. The men that joined our team filled the hole that they were supposed to fill. Like it's like a puzzle piece. And they were all perfectly fit into this big puzzle. And I don't think the top cats in that time that, Melvin, Trey, Chris, Tyrese were there, it wouldn't have been the same if they weren't there.
Mhm.
So I'm very thankful to have experienced being a part of the team during that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank y'all for sharing that. So I want to know from your perspective. This is also another question that I got from somebody in the audience, and I'm curious too. What do
Mhm.
you think makes TopCats different from other NFL teams? I don't think any of you have other NFL experience, but from the outside looking in, you see other teams, you see like every team has a different brand, different style, a different look. What do you think sets our team, TopCats, apart from those teams?
I think I answered this at the very beginning, how when I went to my first Panthers game, I knew I wanted to be a Top Cat. I wanna say I attended my first Panthers game back in, like, 1998 or 99, but when I got of age, like, outside I probably could have been in college, I used to be so strategic, and I don't know if this is still the rule, you couldn't audition until you were 21.
Mm,
So before I turned 21, I was like, all right, well, I still want to audition at other places. And so I would like have like a piece of paper and I would, research teams and I would like Google them and like cities that I liked and where I thought I could live. I'm like, oh, I can look at New Orleans and look at their team. And I would literally write down the teams, the cities I liked, the age limits, the criteria, the amount of money I would need to get there. Like I had everything mapped out. And every time I would look at it, it always came back to Top Cats. Like I love the Top Cats. I love Charlotte. I love the look of the Top Cats. I loved how prestigious y'all looked. Y'all were such a class act. It was like I loved the uniforms. I loved the colors. I loved the dancing that I saw. It just something about Panthers and the TopCats really like drew me in. Also liked, I think the NFL style was more appealing to me than NBA. Why? I don't know. It appealed to me more.
yeah.
But yeah, I like I said, I did the tour prep clinic classes, but just like even and I did prep clinic classes with Top Cats, and I love the style of dance. But I also think Top Cats because I think there's familiar faces there. The Charlotte dance
Mhm.
community is like I knew you. I knew other people that we danced with in college. So I think it was like the community itself that drew me in as
Mhm.
well, but I don't know. There wasn't like another team that I was like I just knew I wanted to be a Top Cat. There was no other team that I was like, I gotta go for this. I don't know. I think it
Mhm.
was like the connection to home. I'm from Charlotte and the connection to Top Cats that were already on the team and then just that first game experience. I feel like if I had maybe been exposed to other games and gotten to see other cheerleaders, but I don't know. I just feel like
Yeah,
the very first time I saw them, I was like, they just looked so
that was your
amazing.
sign. Yeah. How about you, Brandy? What makes TopCats different from other teams?
Um, I don't know if I can say what makes Top Cats different from other teams. I just know what makes Top Cats Top Cats. From my experience, from my lens, Top Cats has always been of a place of acceptance, a place of like unity, loyalty, togetherness. We've always been and continue to be a family unit, not just but with the whole Panthers organization, from percussion to Black and Blue crew. Like I remember going to Germany and just like all of entertainment, just being together on the bus and just laughing and joking. We never felt like we couldn't be united. The fans, I enjoy going out and seeing the fans all the time. It's just the whole atmosphere. To me, is just indescribable, however you say the word. From the time we clock in at 5:30 in the morning to where we're leaving at 5 o'clock at night, it's just adrenaline rush. Everybody's just so excited, no matter what the score is on the scoreboard. We've had some tough seasons. Win or lose, it's just always that quote unquote Panthers pride. The community is always just so supportive no matter where you go. It's so crazy because in different jobs I've had or different people I meet, whenever I mention being a top cat or I used to be a top cat or am a top cat, somebody knows somebody who was a top cat, whether it's a sister or a family friend or this person's wife, whatever the case. So our organization is so big and it's reached so many different people who live so many walks of life. But like indirectly our team and the legacy of the Top Cats has made an impact in this community, and I think that's what makes us so great.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I love that.
Well said. Very well said.
What is your title? Miss Black in
Miss Black, North Carolina,
Miss Black, North
USA.
Carolina. Flawless,
Practicing my questions.
flawless answer. Tell me about your platform, Mentorship in Motion, Brandi.
Oh, yes. Mentorship in motion. So, obviously, as a performer, my goal is to empower and advocate for the art of cheer and dance. Like I said earlier, I was not one who was able to be trained. To be honest, that just wasn't something we were able to afford. And so, within my platform, I want to provide opportunities for those who may not have access or not be able to afford the opportunity to grow as a performer, to grow as a cheerleader, to grow as a dancer. And so, what I've been doing as of recently is partnering with schools, whether it's to teach a dance class or a cheer class or, just come and support the kids and things like that. I have my business, so obviously that's not directly correlated to my platform, but aligns with my platform. I just want to support anybody who has the desire to perform and be able to provide any resource, tool, support to those in that journey. So, yeah, that's my platform.
Thank you for sharing that. And I have one last question that I ask everyone typically that comes on my podcast. It's called the Imperfect Cheerleader Podcast. So I want to know what makes you imperfect.
What makes me
Yeah, everything.
I don't know if this is going to answer the question, but I'm going to try my best. I think my desire to be the best makes me imperfect because sometimes I hyperfixate on certain things so much. So I aspire to be the best at the things that I do, but sometimes I hyperfixate or I critique myself as my worst critic, and sometimes that hinders myself from just enjoying the space. And I know I gave the advice to enjoy the moments, but sometimes I don't do that myself. So, practicing what you preach. When things aren't going the way I envision it, or, whatever the case may be, sometimes I get down on myself. What the beauty in that is that I also have the grit to push through. So even when I don't feel like I'm doing things the right way, I might take a second and get myself together, and then Imma bulldoze my way through it. However that looks, because it's not about being perfect. I always tell people, whether it's my kids or people that I'm training, it's passion over perfection.
Mm.
Like, people wanna see the passion and the desire
Mhm.
and how much you love the thing that you're doing. To me, that's what I feel. And when they see that, they can look past the imperfections that you may have or the things that may not be 100% perfect, because they see that you have the work ethic and you wanna be great. So being like a coachable person is someone that I admire more than someone who's already perfect but can't be coached or can't, take feedback and things like that. So
Yeah.
I know I kinda rambled, but
No, absolutely. And if you didn't have those thoughts, you'd be perfect and nobody, there's not probably one person in the world that doesn't have negative thoughts. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Trika, what makes you imperfect?
Okay, can you tell me what imperfect is? Like what is the definition of imperfect?
So I don't know if this is the dictionary definition of imperfect, but to me, imperfect means that you have flaws. You are not perfect and you're human.
Yeah.
So whatever that means to you, what
Okay.
makes you imperfect?
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so I love this. You remember when I used to be obsessed with Peloton and riding?
Yes. What's that
I
guy?
do.
The
Cody Rigsby.
yes.
Cody Rigsby.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think he told me he didn't tell me this, but on his ride, he said, perfect is boring. oh, it's so boring, right? And I like really like leaned into that because I feel like I used to be such a perfectionist. And I think as dancers, it's really hard to not be because like you perform and you practice to be what? Perfect.
Perfect.
And it's just kinda ingrained in us that we drill, we redo until we can get it right to be perfect. And
Mhm.
so as dancers, that's something that we kinda have to unlearn, especially once you're out of dance world and dance space. Um, I'm not perfect by any means, and I also have to try and not aim for perfection because I have learned that I kind of get let down and disappointed in myself, and that's a whole nother issue. But like just showing up and trying is good enough, right? I think Brandon, you said something like that a couple questions back. But I've always also like, or not always, but I'm working on accepting myself, right?
Mm.
In all areas, like my hair and what I look like and just things that I put out in the world. I'm going to try my best and I'm okay with it not being perfect if I try my best. I've always been rough around the edges, but that's what makes me unique. That's what's going to make me stand out. I know I sound different and I know I look different, but then that makes me again, makes me who I am. Also, another thing that makes me imperfect is I know I'm not perfect by any means, but also like things that don't like go off with the hitch or don't go out in the way that it needs to sometimes work out in your benefit, if that makes sense, one way or another. I hope I'm saying this how I'm supposed to, but like I feel like when like, say you mess up in a dance and it's not perfect. Okay. Well, it's also how like you recover, but also like say you're doing an audition and I'm auditioning, it's just me and I'm not performing with a group. Like being able to like laugh at yourself, obviously in a appropriate manner, but like I think Brandy also said this. If it's like people can give grace if you can. What was your line? Perfection over
Passion over perfection.
passion over perfection, which also kind of goes back to my first year trying out for Top Cats and wanting to be perfect. And it killed my audition process, I feel like. And it stressed me out to be perfect. And my second year coming back to even be perfect. And I feel like my third year, I was just so relaxed and like, all right, I'm going to show up. I'm going to put my best foot forward, but I'm not going to feel like I need to be perfect. I'm going to mess up, which I did. I sprained my ankle and ended
And
up
you was dancing in a boot.
yes, and Jasmine was with me that night where we
Yeah, oh my
we
gosh, yes.
practiced, and I could barely walk, but I tried, and I was like and that's all I could do, and so, like, things are gonna happen. There's going to be bumps in the road. It's not always going to be smooth. It's not. Like, in nobody's journey is it going to be smooth. Things are gonna get thrown at you, and being able to be like, "All right, I'm gonna try my best. This is me trying," and being okay with that, being okay with, like, failure, being okay with things maybe not going your way. I think that's ideal for me versus trying to be perfect in perfection.
Yeah,
I think being okay with me makes me imperfect. Makes
absolutely.
sense.
Yeah. And if everyone and everything was perfect, then we would never have stories to tell. So,
I
I think,
know!
like, those mess ups, whatever they are, it makes for a good look back in the past and, like, be like, "Remember when I did that?" But this is all the great things that have come out of it. To your point, Trika, things might work out for the better,
Yeah,
or it might lead to something else, and you learn something from
I
them.
love a good story, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know you love a good story.
I love a good tea time. Remember when I did this? Remember when I was jumping on the trampoline and sprained my ankle?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. There you go, right there.
Yeah. No one's
Or
gonna remember. Remember when I was jumping on the trampoline and landed that jumped so perfect, no one's gonna remember that, right?
Yeah, nobody's
So
gonna remember that. Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing your stories and showing up and being vulnerable and sharing what you know about Top Cats and giving hopefuls some hope through whatever audition season, whether it is with Top Cats or not, or whatever they might be going through in their life. Like, you both are so inspiring. So I want to thank you for coming on the podcast to share. We do want to leave with rapid fire questions. So these are quick questions. Say whatever comes to your mind first, and then we'll
Reminds me
wrap
of
it up.
media questions from tryouts.
Oh gosh, don't take me there. Don't take me back there. This was fun though. I mean,
Okay. Don't ask me about any players.
I'm gonna be like, so name
Who's the commissioner?
the 5 players on the defensive end.
yeah,
I don't
let
know.
me just go ahead and walk out.
Definitely
Let me
don't
just
do
go
that.
back out.
Okay, here we go. First audition song that instantly puts you back into the Top Cats mindset.
X gonna give him to him, DMX.
Yes, that's a good one.
Trica.
First, yeah. First audition song that reminds me of Top Cat.
Yeah.
Um, what was the one? Rock. What was that one?
You gotta fight. That one?
Fight for your right.
Oh,
That one.
interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, what is a game day ritual that you swore by?
Eye patches. Always. Always have to have
Under
my
your
eye
eye?
patch. Yeah,
Oh,
always. It's a patch party. Everyone has to have their eye patches.
An unhealthy 5-hour energy. If I don't have that, I have to have it. I don't care what it's doing to my heart.
shots,
Oh
shots,
my
shots, shots.
god! I didn't know that was your thing, Brandi.
I would drink it in my pod to the see.
Oh,
Like a full one?
No, I would drink like half at the beginning, and then when I come in at halftime, I'll finish it.
Ah, smart.
Rest.
Kiana gave me half when I was a rookie with her, and we both were unwell. We both were like, so never touch.
Oh my gosh. You gotta drink a little, just a little bit.
I'm gonna stick with my coffee.
For you, what was the hardest part of cheering in an NFL stadium?
The heat. The heat. Hey, this Trica's not playing when she said that. He is different. Honestly, it doesn't matter how much you prepare. It doesn't matter how much water you drink. You gotta push through. Even if you're seeing 3 of everybody. You just gotta push through. And then like the heat from the turf in your boots.
That's underestimated.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
I
hardest
don't
part.
think people understand. Like we are getting cooked. Also, like sizzle. Like people.
Not the sizzle.
So, your feet are being like heat waves. You can see them on the ground. Like
Yeah.
our poor feet. Sorry, Brandi, cut you off. Are you?
No, you're fine. You're
going?
fine. No, I was gonna say the salt. If I see the salt on my skin,
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
that's how I know it's over.
The, the fourth quarter was hard for me
Mhm.
in the NFL and for NFL games. Fourth quarters, my legs are Charlie horse up. Like my legs are being locked, and I am like my whole legs are like being, you know what a Charlie horse is, like a cramp that like shoots up
Yeah.
your leg.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's me in the fourth quarter. The games are long, like you've got to hydrate. And like, I mean, I'm like a big water advocate, and I was still finding myself getting super cramped up by the fourth quarter. I had worked with like Marissa, and she's like, try watermelon, try this, like the pickle juice, like it just it never failed. Fourth quarter, my legs were locked bad. So I remember like not being able to jump sometimes when it's like third down, and I'd be like trying to jump and I couldn't.
I think to
Fourth quarter is rough for me. Really rough.
piggyback off that.
Don't get me started on overtime.
Oh, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like it's the most bittersweet moment 'cause it's like we have another opportunity to win, but I can't feel my feet anymore. I don't know what else to do. So I'm like, "Yay."
Smile through the pain.
Someone just scored.
Oh my gosh.
I love that. I'll just say I remember, I think it was my first game of my last season, but it was y'all's rookie season, the
Yeah.
turf. It was our first time dancing on turf, and we did not know that that turf was gonna burn the bottom of our feet. Like,
Wow.
it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And we had to, like, change, I think, boots or something or put
Mhm.
soles, I don't know, it was crazy.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. They start
But we
bringing
did,
those ice buckets out.
So,
yeah,
Jasmine, on the grass, it didn't feel like that on
not
the
at all.
before
We didn't
turf?
have to worry. No, we did not have to worry about our feet getting burnt on grass. Like,
So pain.
yeah, the
Oh,
turf, we did
really?
not see that coming. We did not prepare for that, and we didn't know. It was new. So,
Wow.
yeah. Okay, a couple more. What was your favorite sideline moment that you'll never forget?
Sideline, like, what like a
Like,
dance or like
anything that might have happened during a game, or you were on the sideline.
okay, okay. I live and love for player tunnel slash intro. Like every single one just gave me chills. It was my favorite part of game days coming out of the tunnel. The music was always fun and electric. Like the music was always so hype. I loved it. It's my favorite part. And I remember my first game, my 3rd season, it was my first game as a captain, and I remember looking to Skylar on the left, and I was just like and we both were just like, "This is so cool," 'cause she was a rookie, and I always love seeing the rookies also so excited. Like, you're seeing them experience their first game through
Yeah.
your own eyes. Like, it's hard to see you experience your first things as a rookie through your own eyes, so it was always fun for me to see rookies first, like, games or first this or first that. Like, I always found a lot of joy in that.
Yeah, love that.
Um,
Clear interest your heart.
sideline. Okay, what's your question again?
Your favorite sideline moment that you'll never forget.
I don't have like one particular one. Honestly, it's kind of a blur at this moment. I think one of my favorite things to do on the sidelines is when we get to the northeast section where the families are
Mm,
and
mm.
all the games where like my husband would come. When I got there, I would look up and I will always see him like and that would just give me confirmation like, okay, he's here. And that would just kind of like calm me down, like, okay, we're going.
Aw. What's one myth about NFL cheerleaders that you wanna bust?
That you wanna what?
Bust, like a myth that you'd like to bust about NFL cheerleaders. Like something that maybe a lot of people think is true, but it's not actually true.
I don't know if this is a myth or if people think, but this is just for Top Cats because I don't know about other and I'm sure other teams are also just as hardworking and dedicated, but this is not just we show up to the game to smile and like there's a lot of work and even though it is labeled as part-time, this is like full-time efforts being put in. Some some people put in more work. Like I think I was doing a lot more for Panthers than I was doing for my full-time job. So this isn't like we just, have our cute little practice once a week. Like, no, there's 2 to 3 practices a week. We're practicing before the game. There's a lot of work and training that goes into being an NFL cheerleader. Like we are athletes. It's not just all about looking pretty. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into being a NFL cheerleader. There's a lot of dedication. There's a lot of commitment, there's a lot of sacrifice, and we do it and we make it look effortless and we make it look pretty, but the behind the scenes, there's a lot of work. that goes into it.
Very true.
So, like, this isn't just a cute little part-time job where we're getting paid cute little part-time hours. We're really putting a lot of money and a lot of effort into being the best we can be for the team that we're cheering for. And I'm sure all NFL cheerleaders can speak on that as well, and NBA dancers. It is, I think, something that they only get to see a little glimpse of on social media, and they're not seeing the years that took to make the team. They're not seeing the hours that are going on outside of the practice, right? Because you're practicing and then you're practicing with your line and your friends outside of the practice. Like, there's just,
Mhm.
I don't think a lot of people understand how hard it is to one, make the team, and how hard it is to stay on the team, and how hard it is to maintain it and juggle it on top of your other full-time jobs and multiple side gigs. So it's not for the weak. NFL cheerleader is not for the weak. You have to have tough skin and you have to be willing to fight for your right to party. Again,
I love it. What would you say, Brandy?
I got a few things. Well, I don't know if I have a few things. Trika kind of brought it home, but I think one myth, like my mom thought we got paid money. I said, I wish, girl. I wish.
Okay. What is the most challenging routine that you ever performed as a top cat?
I know. It was
Guys,
the last routine I ever done as a top cat. Well, one of the last routines. Our coach, Chandelier, had the music and she challenged everybody to make up an 8 count.
Oh.
Everybody decided that their 8 count was going to be the most intricate 8 count ever imagined. So we did the whole dance. Yes, it was called No Scrubs, and it was the fastest song.
Like TLC, no scrubs?
Yes, but it was
yes,
like a mixed version of it.
like a dance.
Everybody's moves was like,
Wow, that's crazy.
even going into the end zone. I'm still like, I hope I know the dance because it would not
Please find a
quit,
photo
huh?
of the end. How did we end?
Um,
And you're like front and center.
oh, it was like this. Oh, and then she put me in I was like, it's the dances that get you where Chandelier or any coach might put you like in
Yeah,
the front for everybody to see. It's like,
literally.
I want to be in the back.
Yeah.
That dance, I forgot about that one. No scrums was very challenging, but also salsa Saturday, the salsa
Yeah.
dance
Yeah.
to get low, get
Get
low.
low. Yeah. I didn't perform that, but I learned it. Yes. But you
Oh,
did
you
good
didn't?
though. No, I was out that game. Hmm.
Jasmine, were you in that one?
I think that was after me or
Hmm.
after I retired.
Yeah, that was our second year.
I think I remember seeing that
It
dance though
was
at a game. It was
it
interesting.
was so fast.
Mm.
It was so fast. Lacey Swimmer from So You Think You Can Dance
Mm.
and Dancing with the Stars came and taught it, and it was like this Latin salsa infused dance, and it was good dance. It was so fast.
It
Like,
was
we were
cute.
like
It was
going
really cute.
triple the speed that I feel like we normally dance. And of course it was like a September game, so it was so hot, but
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
And I think Oh
Oh,
Faithful
oh,
DMX. It felt like that was the longest. I feel like that routine was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was on the team for that one,
Yeah.
and
this one
I feel
next
like we
gonna
did it a lot too. Like we did it
Yes.
for
That
training camp. We did it maybe the first preseason or second preseason game.
yeah. I feel like we did that routine a couple times. And it's
family and friends.
yeah. Once we got
Yeah.
to that part, I was like
It was still fun, but it was whew,
yeah, that's
like
tired.
dying.
Oh, and everybody in the front having to do that kip up.
Yes.
I said, power
I
to
think I
y'all.
was part of that group. I think I had to do the kip up.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least it was in the beginning, I think. Or no, it was, like, towards the
Good
middle.
memories.
Yeah, anyway. Okay,
Oh,
last
and
question.
that dance had, like, a whole intro that, so you're already
Yes!
tired before you
Band
finish it.
intro!
Yes.
Yes!
That
Gosh.
was cute. Okay, 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 stop.
That was real cute. It was, like, the lead up to the madness that happened.
Mhm.
Last question. If you could describe your Top Cats experience in one word, what would it be? Just one word.
Um, I don't know. I don't have any, like, cute, aesthetically pleasing words, but I think my time on Top Cats, uh, I don't know what the word is. Because I feel like my time on Top Cats was a era that was different than most. It was a year of a lot of diversity, just a lot of, like, new things when it came to the style, when it came to the dynamics of the team, and just a whole bunch of things, like, obviously internally that, like, we may know, and I just think it's a era that's not gonna happen again. It may happen in a different way, but this era of Top Cats, I feel like, is something that's what's the word?
Unique?
Unique. I will say that. It's very unique. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
How about you, Trika?
What was the question?
If you could explain or if you could describe your Top Cats experience in one word, what would it be?
One word? Like I have a phrase, but one word.
You can say both. Say both.
Okay, so I know the phrase was called "Live the Dream," but my experience really did feel like a dream. And even now looking back on it, it still feels kind of like a dream. And even before I was on it, it felt like a dream. There is things that my dream before I became a top cat obviously was to be a top cat. And then I didn't expect uh, once top cat was over, the amount of relationships that I would have gotten to have. I went into Top Cats because obviously I love to perform, but also because I wanted a community that I was desperately searching for, a dance community that I wanted, like a sisterhood, a family. That's my word. Sorry, family.
Family.
That's my word. That's my word. Although Top Cats
Awesome.
is a team, that era that we are in is a family. I even outside of Top
Mhm.
Cats now, outside of the uniform, I still have coffee dates, tennis dates, walk and talks. I talk to Brandi pretty regularly. I talk to you and we text or TikTok and like the connection there, it's more than just a team, it's a family. And it doesn't start when you're on Top Cats. It starts at the audition journey. Like, it starts
Mhm.
in that stage. There are people that I still talk to who I auditioned with that might have not made the team, and we still stay in touch. There's people who I met at Top Cat audition who I never even got to cheer with, but I met them there and we still communicate. So I would say my experience with Top Cats is I gained a whole new family, um, and it
Yeah.
left a big impact on me. Really privileged and grateful to have.
That's really nice.
Very
I love that.
You love you, girl.
I
I
love
love both of
y'all.
y'all. Trika,
It's
I
such a
need you to work on rapid fire. I love your answers, but rapid fire.
I'm a storyteller.
And yes, you do tell great stories.
Yes.
And I'm so appreciative of it. And I'm
Mhm.
appreciative of both of you for coming onto the podcast,
Thank you,
sharing your
Jasmine.
stories. And there's going to be 30 more great years of Top Cats. And once a Top Cat,
Always a top
Always.
cat.
Top Cat. Thank y'all so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Jasmine. We appreciate everything that you're doing. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Jasmine.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. Taking the time to listen while you're busy with all of life's responsibilities means the world to me. If you enjoyed this episode, here are a few ways you can support ICP. Number 1, hit the subscribe button so you always get newly released episodes and never miss them. Number 2, take a screenshot of the episode you listened to and tag at the professional cheerleader on Instagram. I love to repost your tags and shout you out on stories. And number 3, write a review on Apple Podcasts. This is the best way to show your support for the podcast and helps bring us even more guests, interviews, and topics. I hope you have a wonderful day and continue to work towards your goals of becoming a professional cheerleader, dancer, or someone who just loves to move, honey. I'll see you next time on another episode of the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. Bye for now.